Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We've been working on this Bally Supersonic forever. We bought it, Playfield was destroyed, all the game boards were destroyed. There was a short on one of the boards that fried all the other boards. And we've been working through it. So we've done several videos on this. It's the whole series. It might be the longest series we've ever done on a game. We've been limping along a little bit more, because it needs so much work done to it. So what we've been doing lately is repainting the playfield. It had heavy wear right in the center of the playfield. So we did a video where we figured out where the S's were and the T and put that back and did the orange. And then we did a video where we did the red, and we had done some of the cream, I guess, when we did the orange. And then we did a video where we did the burgundy and some of the lettering that we got back. And we're up to now, we have to do the yellow, which is kind of the hardest part. So what I have done is everywhere that the yellow was worn, I went ahead and put some primer. It was worn down to the wood in several spots. So like if you look at the blue here, it's literally all the paint's worn away. It's worn down to the wood. So it was like that in several places. And whenever I did the cream, I did it on the yellow just so that there would be a primer, because the yellow has a bad habit of taking 50 coats to cover just the plain wood. So you can't do that. You've got to put some kind of primer on it. Some of the other stuff you don't have to put primer. The red covered pretty good. The orange covered pretty good. I can't remember. We might have done primer on the orange too, but whatever. You get the point. So everywhere there's a little bit of cream on the yellow, we need to touch up. Now, I doubt this is going to come out perfect, but we'll see. We'll see how good we can get it. The way I do it is I just use acrylic paint, because you can clean it up easy. You can easily mix it. It's very inexpensive. We've got, tons of, I don't know, we might have 100 different, I'm looking at the boxes. There might be 200. I might have 200 bottles of acrylic paint, just different colors. You can buy it at Michael's and Hobby Lobby for, it used to be 69 cents, but inflation has hit. I've been told that it is now on sale for 99 cents. So that's cool. It's not too bad. So yellow is this part, this part. This is actually yellow. This part, that part, that part, that part, and that part. So there's quite a bit of yellow, actually. Oh, and the star, and this star. This star is yellow, and it has orange in the middle. So we're going to have to break out the old orange again to finish that one up. So that's what we're looking at. I didn't put primer on the star in the middle. Knew I was forgetting something. It's okay. We can still do it. So let me get my yellow paint and see if there's any of them that look like they're going to be even close to this yellow. Enough to fool your eye where you don't quite notice it, like the red and the orange and the burgundy are slightly fooling your eye where you don't quite notice it. Of course, I pointed it out, and the lines are kind of squiggly, so you can kind of tell, but all in all, it's looking pretty good compared to where we started. So I'll show you where we started. You've probably already seen it. I'll show you where we started, and then we'll come back and look at the yellow. So this is where we started. So we've got a lot of it painted in now. Okay, so here are all of my yellows that I have to choose from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 different yellows in my bag of tricks. So what I do is I just look at the bottom of it and see what matches or comes close to matching. They fade different too, so it's kind of an imperfect science. So you can't, if you match it to down here, it doesn't necessarily match up there, because they fade different on different parts of the playfield, and they wear different. If you look really close at this, see that? That looks dirty, but it's really, ooh, we went too far. We always go too far. It's really little micro cracks on the playfield that the ball has caused. We've cleaned that up as best we could with a magic eraser, but you can't get rid of all of it. If you keep going, what happens is you rub through the paint and start getting into the primer that's original to it, which is what's left over here. That's what that the white specking is. Right? So that was as clean as we could get it. It was much dirtier when we started, but if you look up here, it looks pretty good, but if you get close, you can see that the same thing's going on. So if you match that, it's going to stand out down here a little more, and vice versa. So like I said, it's an imperfect science. We're going to do the best we can. So I look at the bottom of the bottle, which is a little lighter than how it's going to turn out. I may be able to, sometimes there'll be dried paint on the top and you can kind of tell. But we're just looking to see what's close. Hopefully we can find one out of the bottle that just kind of matches, and we can just leave it like that. And we don't have to mix it, okay? So this is saffron yellow. I always think about that Beatles song, the Savoy Shuffle, or something like that. Every time I see that, it's different. The saffron shuffle, the Savoy Shuffle. Okay, it's nothing like it. It's too orange. So that's not a thing. That one's not going to work. It's not even close. Goodbye, saffron yellow. This one is primary yellow. Now, you may never know that they had so many yellows. Similarly, it's too orange. It just, which I guess would be, you know, it's a little more red. It's a little warmer color. And the yellow on the Playfield's a little cooler. So it's not going to match either. It's not even close. Okay, well here we have what they call bright yellow. Now if you look, see there's some dried paint. I guess you can't compare it. See how that looks lighter, but it's obviously darker. It's kind of hard to, I can't show you both at the same time, but so it dries a little bit darker. It looks like it might be similar. Let's see how the dried part looks. You see the dried part, to me, looks too orange again. But maybe. Might be worth a test. Might test that one. Okay, now we've got this one, lemon yellow. It's more green. Right? So it's too green. They've went too far towards green away from red. So you know there's a color wheel, you got red, green, and blue are the three primary colors on a color wheel. So red, green, blue. If you go halfway between red and green, you get yellow. Have I got that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, and if you go halfway between red and yellow, you get orange. So maybe I should pull up a color wheel to make sure I'm not lying to you. Red, orange, yellow, green. Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Red and green make yellow, though? That doesn't sound right. No, red and yellow make green. Okay, I got that backwards. Damn it, we're going to have to check. I always trust your instincts, people. You're always right the first time. Okay, red and yellow, right? So the yellow that one yellow, it's like on this side of it, right? So here's yellow, but if you're a little bit too close to the green, this one doesn't show a ton of gradients, but you're going to be a little, let me find a better one. This one says the emotional color wheel. That's what we want. Okay, so red, we're over here in yellow. So if we're right in the middle in yellow, it's very yellow, but it can be a little more orange if it's closer to red. That's kind of what some of ours are. Or it can be a little more green if we're closer to green. So it just depends on where you are, like how much red paint's in it, how much green's in it. And then to move from, this one again, whatever, but to move from here to here, if you add more of this color to this, it will dull it out. All right, so this is a little better representation of what we're actually doing. So in the spectrum of light, if you add all the colors together, you get white. So the center is actually white if you're talking about light, right? Light, right? But if you are talking about paint, as you get towards the center, it gets darker actually, and you end up with black in the center, or dark gray or brown. Right? So to get this from vivid to this, you don't add black, you add the opposite color. So like if I put a little bit of purple in this, it's going to kind of make it look a little more dingy. That's just how it works. Same thing with this. To make red look less vivid, you put a little bit of green in it, and it brings it back towards closer to the middle of the color wheel, right? And again, it's not exact. It's all, you're mixing stuff together and you're not measuring anything. All that to say, this isn't a pure yellow. It's a little more green. If you can see it, you can see it. If you can't see it, you know, after a while, you kind of start noticing it. It's not more red than that. It's more green than that. And if you think about it like that, you can kind of see the green in it. And once you start seeing it like that, it makes it a little easier to mix the colors. All right. Next up, we have cadmium yellow. I actually use this on a lot of Bally games. A lot of the stuff like Lost World and stuff uses this color. But again, if you look at it compared to the Playfield, I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. Maybe you can see it there. Right? It's not a match, it's a little too orange because it's a little bit more to the red side on the spectrum. So we want it right here, wherever this is. This might not be right in the middle, but this, however, wherever this lands on the wheel, this is slightly towards the red side of it. It still might be fine. It might dry out and look better, right? Another thing too is if you're going to touch it up and you don't have a perfect match, you want it slightly darker than it appears to the naked eye. So this would stand out like a sore thumb because it's so light. You just see it and you'd be, oh, good Lord, somebody poured green paint on a playfield. But if it's slightly darker, it blends in a little bit and you don't quite notice it as much because it just naturally looks like wear, and this thing has wear all over it. Like right here in this shooter lane, you're not going to look at that and go, oh God, right? Whenever you see it, it just looks like naturally old wear because the thing's old. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. Okay, this is golden yellow. That has a lot of promise. To my naked eye, that looks very similar. So I like golden yellow. Okay, and then we have yellow light, but it's almost empty. I don't know that I could even use this. It looks pretty good, but again, it's a little too green. But I can't even use it because it's basically empty. I think it dried up. I need to go get some more yellow light. And if you put it next to the lemon yellow, you can see the green. You can see the green compared to the ones that are too orange. It's just a little bit green. And then we have bright yellow, which might actually be... This says bright yellow as well. This is Anita's and this is Americana, so it's going to be a different shade, and they do look different. That looks pretty close, but it's, again, the bottle's almost empty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do anything right here, because whatever I do, you'll notice. And we've got this issue where we don't want to put a bunch of coats on it, because you can see all the brush strokes. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go up there and mess with it. So this little shot up here, all this is supposed to be yellow. And so I can test my color up here, and if we get something that's a pretty good match, then we'll transfer it down here. Like I said, they fade a little bit differently, but it's better than testing it all right here, right above the flipper where everybody's going to be looking constantly. So I'll put a little test yellow down, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I've been doing the yellow. Again, yellow is the absolute hardest color. You will never find a harder color than yellow. The ones up here, I just did the smear technique. If you didn't see me talking about that on the last video, basically you just smear a little paint on if there's cracks in the paint. And then if you wipe the paint off, the paint will stay in the cracks, so it kind of just fills it in. So those two aren't that big of a deal. They just need the black touched up and they'll look pretty good. I did the same thing on the red up here, so if you think that looks all right, then this will look all right. Same thing here, and again, needs the black touched up, and it needs a little bit of the orange touched up, but there's also a post that goes over it, and it's going to be fine. This one, all kinds of text is missing. So what I do whenever I do that is the parts between, like here, 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 I paint thick. And then I just take the yellow, which is, you know, it needs several coats usually, and I just paint over the text, but thin enough that you can still read the text because it'll make it easier for me to trace it. I'm not great at the lettering, as you can see here. It's not that awesome. That's from a previous one that I did. Okay, over here I did the smear technique and was able to fill that in pretty good. I think that part's going to look great. The 345, again, once I put the black lining on it. Up here, this was a big mess if you saw the earlier videos. Real mess. Now, of course, again, have to put black lining on it, and there's a plastic that rides this whole right side. And there's a spinner here. So whenever you look at this, you're going to be looking at the spinner and the plastic. You're not going to be looking at that this is one color and this is a different color. So hopefully it blends in pretty good. So what I did was I took golden yellow, it was too yellow. I took saffron yellow, it was too orange. So I had to mix. So I took quite a bit of golden yellow, and then I just put a couple drops of this in there. And it oranged it up just a little bit. Can you tell? I don't know how well the camera's going to show it, but this is much more orange than that, because it has this in it. And so if you're trying to do that on that color wheel, you don't want to mix like straight up orange in it. It's easier to just use like a yellow that's more orange, so you're kind of just pushing it that way, you know, and you're still going to get all of the yellow in it and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so that's what I did. So I used a little bit more orange yellow, and it oranged it up a little bit, we'll say. That might come back and bite me, but we'll see. The star in the middle, I put primer under and then painted. The little block over here, the 3X, I painted it, the back of it yellow. The star here, we had primer on it already. I painted it yellow. Okay, so the toughest part is what was going on down here. I think I've got a good solution for it, but it's not a perfect solution for it. If you didn't see the previous videos, there is a spot, a wear spot down to the wood right here and right here. And it's just fugly. It's like that, but much bigger. I can't mess with this one because they put this Mylar protector over it. I could have peeled it off, but I usually don't mess with them. I just leave them. With a little bit of wear under there, I'm not too concerned about it. You can just paint that little spot back in, the wear spot, but then you're just going to see it all the time, and it draws your eye to it. Another option is you can paint the whole yellow piece, but then the whole thing looks like a coloring book, like the middle already does. Everything's not sharp or anything. So I decided to just paint the corner and just break it right here. Now you can see the break. If you got the color dead on, you could probably hide the break pretty good, but you've got compounding problems here because of the way the wear is. So that's not one color. So you've got to match that and the wear. If I painted the wear line back in, it would probably actually look a little better, but I can't bring myself to do that. Another thing is, if you look at this, it looks more orange than what ended up on the playfield. Now part of that is because what's on the playfield is thinner than what's in that cup. But I've noticed too that whenever you put clear on it, a lot of times if you've got something like that going on, like there's a color missing there, like that doesn't look as orange as this. A lot of times when you clear it, it'll come out. So that might end up being too orange. Yeah. This and this it's close, but you know, it ain't perfect. Another thing you could do, you could try to get tricky with it and paint over some of the wear, but then you run the risk that you'll see that too, and it's kind of annoying. So I just did what I did. I always try to put, if you're doing that, where you're trying to break something, and this is the most unfortunate place to have it. Luckily, you know, whenever you're playing, you're kind of looking right there, waiting on the ball. So it's kind of, it's the worst possible spot. But we do have all this going on, so it might draw their eye up here where they're looking at this and not really paying attention to that. But we'll see. So whenever I do that, I try to make it where the lines are never straight, because you'll never get them perfectly straight, and then you can tell that they're not perfectly straight. So if you're trying to do this, and even with a ruler, if you're trying to do this, but you get it just slightly off, everybody's going to notice it, right? If it's horizontal, it's a hard break, and your eye will just catch it because you're looking this way on the playfield. That's just how that's how the thing's laid out, and that's how you're looking at it. So I put lines going that way, but I slanted them to kind of, I mean, it's not the same angle, obviously, but to kind of, you know, all of this is a fan, and this is angled, and this is angled, and the flippers are angled. And so I'm trying to just angle it a little bit. So hopefully it'll blend in a little bit. We'll see whenever it's done. Personally, though, I think the playfield looks a heck of a lot better than it used to. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clear this part real quick to lock it in. And then I'm going to do some of the black ink over the top of it and hopefully get it to look even better. So someone mentioned there was something I was going to... Oh, the rollovers. Somebody asked, how do you tape off the rollovers whenever you spray clear on it? I don't tape off the rollovers. I don't tape off anything. One, it's clear, so if it gets on something, it's not that big of a deal. But two, it's really actually thin. If you spray on a clear coat out of a rattle can, like we'd usually do on this, like we're doing on this one, you're not putting down much at all. It's really, really thin. So it's not going to cause a problem with these. So what usually happens is they get stuck, and you can just press them a couple times, and they'll push back down. Yeah, so see, I've painted over this like twice, and they still work fine. I have had those before, though, where they're stuck. It's usually the wax that actually does it. These come out from the bottom. You can just pop them out and then run something like a toothpick or something through the little insert and clean all of those out, and then it'll work again. And you can buy these little star plastic pieces, brand new. They reproduce those. They're like 50 cents or something. All right, so yeah, let me spray a little clear over the yellow areas. And then we can start trying to put some of the lettering back in. There's not a ton, actually, but a lot of the edges and lines and stuff are just going to look better after it gets some black on it. Okay. So I cleared it. I think we're looking pretty good down by the flippers. New flippers, new flipper rubbers, the plastics on and everything, that's going to look pretty decent. Here's my 3X. Came out pretty decent. The star's looking pretty good. There's still a little text I got to put on it. I got this. I still have to finish the special, which is in orange, of course. I think it's looking decent. This, I put the ring around the hole again. Wrote advanced bonus back on there. All that was completely missing, basically. Put the black circles around the lights. That one I was already done. I just cleared it. Same up there. Put the black ink back on. Those look perfectly fine. So I think all I've got left, I'm going to go ahead and put this says like 100 on it or something. The way I'm telling what to put on them, I'm looking on the Internet Pinball Database, IPDB.org, Internet Pinball Database.org. Then there's pictures of about every pinball machine ever on there, and they've got a whole bunch of pictures of Supersonic, so you can check it out and tell how this stuff's supposed to look. It's very passable right now. I'm going to go ahead and finish the blue, though. That will, be basically everything on it has been repainted. Of course, we still have to put all the plastics and everything back on it. We have to wax it. We have to put all of the, we have to replace all the bulbs. All of that jazz. So next up though, I need to ink in this circle too. So I need to ink in that circle. And I need to write 100 points on there. I don't know if it's at 100 or 100 points. Probably 100 points when lit or something. I'll look on Internet Pinball Database. And then we'll go for there. I'll save the special till next time because I got to make orange again. There was something else that needed orange. What was it? Maybe that's it. Oh, the jet stream up there needs a little bit. I inked the S and the T back in, but they're the wrong color, as you can see. But we're getting there. All right, 100, 1,000 when lit is what it says according to the pictures on the Internet Pinball Database. And then this one, this little star here needs some orange in it. So that was the other thing that I need orange for. So I need orange for that, orange for the special, a little bit of orange for the jet stream, and then I think we'll be done with that. So this is where we're at. And it's late again. So I'm going to the house. Before I leave though, I'm going to put final clear coat over the black that I've touched up on all of the yellow. So I've got to clear coat this, and this. It's all got black. And then I won't have to worry about if I spill paint. Like when I'm doing the blue, if I get some on top of all of the other stuff, it won't matter because it's got a clear coat. And since it's acrylic paint, you can just wipe it right off. You could literally spill paint on this part of the playfield right now and just wipe it off because I've cleared it. So I'll show you the before and the after. This is the before. We'll go back in time to how it looked worn again, and then we'll come back with the clear. Okay, so with the clear, it's all blended in. It's starting to get a little bit of a sheen on it. I think we're to the point now where it's all starting to come back. Look how that the clear kind of brought that together. I mean, I've literally painted just the right side, not the left side, and you can't really tell that well because of the clear. It makes the sheen the same, and it plays a little trick on your eye, and you see the light shining across all of it, so you don't notice that maybe that was different. You do see the brush strokes though, so maybe I'll show it from a different angle. But a clear really helps. That's, once you do that, it starts coming together. So I think, considering what we started with, I think it looks really good. I'm aiming for a 7, trying to get to 7. I don't know if I'm going to get there. But hopefully we can get to a 7. So that's what we're looking for. So I've still got to paint the blue in. Got a little bit of orange to put on. Is that it? I got to put everything back on. Yeah, I guess that's it. I got to do the blue and a little bit of orange. And the blue doesn't have any text on it, although it does have the lines around the edges. There was something else that I just noticed and I was thinking about. No, that's it. Okay, so blue and a little bit of touch up on the orange and then a little bit more black. And then we have to put everything back on it. It's laying over there on our fun house. I've got to clean on that freaking apron. They put a big old sticker on it. Ugh. What are they thinking? But I'm pretty freaking happy with how it's turning out. I think it looks pretty good, all things considered. It's not perfect, has plenty of flaws. Once you get the glass on it and it's set up for people to play, as crazy as it sounds, with the text messed up and the obvious where I repainted this, 9 out of 10 people that come in our store will not know that that was repainted. Now, if you're a collector, as soon as you walk up to it, you're going to see that it's repainted. But most people just aren't going to tell. And so once you realize that, it makes you a lot more brave with doing stuff like this, even though, yeah, it's got flaws and there's parts that are crooked and all of that. The average person doesn't even notice it. So there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you on the next video. If you want to see us paint on another one, I'm sure you just can't wait. I'll put up a video here of one of our other escapades.